Now to China, where a cleanup operation is underway in the country's central Henan province after devastating floods. Days of heavy rain has left much of the region submerged. At least 33 people have been killed, thousands displaced, and many are still missing. But there was a moment of hope when rescuers pulled a 3-month-old baby from a collapsed building in Zhengzhou City. Local media say the baby had been buried under the rubble for a day and a night before being found. The child is now in hospital and is in a stable condition. Many areas in Henan province still lack basic services, and residents are taking stock of the devastation.
Floodwaters rushed through Gongyi City, near the capital of Henan province, leaving behind not only an immense cleanup, but also an immeasurable sense of loss. I really don't know what to say. I lost my shop, I lost my house, I lost everything. Things won't be returning to normal anytime soon, with authorities struggling to cope with the scale of the disaster. We don't have water to drink now, and we don't have electricity. The cell phone signal only resumed today. Days of heavy rain have brought cities in Henan province to a standstill. Stranded residents wait for rescue boats or heavy machinery to carry them to safety. Even now, the scale of the disaster is still emerging. Subway commuters watch the waters fill up the carriages, all the way up to their necks. Many died in this incident on Wednesday before emergency workers could reach those trapped inside. Horrific images like these creating widespread anger that authorities didn't shut down trains earlier. Still, dozens of reservoirs and dams are in danger of overflowing. And the government says it has deployed soldiers to divert rivers which burst their banks. Our teams have rushed to Zhengzhou, Luoyang, Kaifeng and other places in the region. Other troops in Henan province are ready to participate. More than 3 million people in Henan province have been affected by the record rains, with tens of thousands now living in emergency shelters. Others have been out on the streets, picking through the mud to see what remains.
Correspondent Matthias Berlinger is in Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan province, which has been hit hardest by the flooding. Matthias, what's the situation there today?
So I am now a little bit outside of the city, one of the areas that was hit first and hardest. And I don't know how well you can see, but behind me, this river was overflowing. The bridges that were crossing this river are destroyed. I am on a road bridge that has survived, that was more solid. And this is the only place in this whole area where we have mobile reception. All the other places are still cut off from the world. Roads are blocked. It's very hard to access these places. And people are looking at the damage. Houses have been damaged. People are telling stories about people that had been carried away by the floods. When they were standing on the street, they still do not have any information about what happened to them. It's pretty much a mess here, although the rain has stopped and although, as you can see, the water levels are down now, but there is a lot to do here, and there's a lot of things that will come out after there is more access to the area.
Now, rescue operations are ongoing across Henan province. How many people are in need of help there, Matthias?
It's very hard to say. As I told you, there are some places around here that are not accessible at all. Others are accessible, but only by foot because the roads have been swept away. So it's very hard, and the authorities are not really very open. They're not really disclosing information in a timely manner. It seems that they are under big pressure. Yesterday evening, for example, we were in one of the places, a tunnel in Zhengzhou City, where a lot of people had died at that moment, or many people were suspected to die because many cars were trapped inside the tunnel. Authorities have said 2 people have died, but this is not very probable that it will stay at that death toll. The mayor of Zhengzhou came there at midnight with the policeman without press, and police were pushing us away. She was having a look at the scene, but she did not want it to be seen at this place. She did not want to be associated with what was happening there.
Now, I understand that dams and rivers are still at risk of overflowing there, Matthias. Are forecasters expecting more rain?
Well, the situation now, I am a little bit west of Zhengzhou, and here the rains have stopped, but north of Zhengzhou they're still continuing, and there are still roads being flooded and rivers rising. We do expect indeed more rain. I am not sure how heavy it will be, I think, but it could be quite severe again in the next 2 days. This is not over, and you can see the weather. It's not bright or anything. This is not gone. It's just that the rain has moved from one place to the other.
We're also hearing, Matthias, that the floods are affecting supply chains. What can you tell us about that?
Henan is one of the is in the central Chinese plain. It's a very important transport hub. A lot of lines run through Henan. It is also one place that the government has tried to develop as an industrial base, as the coastal regions, the traditional industrial.
And we seem to have lost.
So Foxconn, for example.
Yeah, we've got some technical problems with our line there to China at the moment. That was Matthias Berlinger reporting live from Zhengzhou in the center of China's flood zone.